Good morning. Happy Thursday. I believe it is Thursday, which is great. Just waiting for people to join for the morning live. So wave if you can, say hello. So hello, good morning, Jeremiah. How are you today? Thank you for saying hi. I'm just going to wait another second and then we're going to dive in. We have a good topic today, common topic. So, all right. Anyone else out there today? My mug today is Hot Mama. I know some of you are keeping track of that, right? What mug do I have today? All right. So I am Dr. Trisha Pingel, and I am here with your morning checkup, which I'm really enjoying these lives. I'm excited to have you here. Today is a great topic. I'm going to talk about allergies today, and I am located in Arizona, and we have quite a few allergy seasons because we have all these different blooms that happen. But I know many of you in other parts of the country are also starting to see some changes in weather and therefore some changes in blooms. And allergies is something that a lot of people are concerned with. So I want to talk to you about allergies, but I want to talk to you about a possible thing you might be missing when it comes to treating your allergies and things to look for and how to recognize it. And then I'm also going to talk about some natural ways that you can support your allergies so you don't have to keep using all these medications. Hopefully, we can reduce the number of medications that are used by looking at the entire person rather than simply this little allergy. Okay, so that's our topic today, and it's a great topic. And I'm really excited to fill you in on all this. So obviously, lots of sneezing, watery eyes, mild coughs going on right now. People may have trouble breathing with allergies. And sometimes it's hard to tell, is this an allergy? Is this a virus? You know, what's going on? So I want to start with some really crazy statistics on allergy medication use. This actually blew me away. Now, it was hard to find exact numbers because a lot of these are over the counter, but I can tell you that in 2016, Zyrtec alone, $360 million in sales in the US. I mean, it doesn't cost that much to buy. So think about how many we have to buy in order to hit that number. It's a lot, and that's only one of them, right? That doesn't count Claritin and all the others that are Allegra and all the others that are out there, right? Speaking of Claritin, in 2017, there were over 12 million RXs for that. And what was even crazier is when I looked at the trends from the 10 years before, it's just going up. So more and more people are using medications for allergies. So, you know, it leads me to ask the question, why? Why are we having more and more allergies as we go along? Now, of course, our air quality is worse, so we have to take that into consideration. But when we're talking about an allergy, a specific allergy, let's say to a mesquite tree, right? Why would more people be developing an actual allergy? Or maybe we're not. Maybe we're not developing a direct allergy. Maybe it's something else, right? That we're not paying attention to. So I want to call some attention to that. Just so you know, like the general allergy medications out there, because I know sometimes we just don't have the education of knowing the difference. So let me tell you that real quick. Antihistamines, which would be something that blocks a histamine response. And I'm going to come back to that in a second. So remember that blocking histamine is how you lower symptoms, right? So Claritin, Zyrtec, Benadryl, Allegra, those are the common ones prescribed or picked up for that particular purpose, okay? Corticosteroids are also used. Now, those are anti-inflammatory. They're steroid drugs. Typically, when it comes to allergies, they're administered through the nose. So Flonase, Nasacort, those types of things. The other ones that are commonly used are decongestants. Now, you may recognize this as like Advil, cold and sinus, or Sudafed, right? So these are all things that are bought over the counter. Let me remind you of that. These are bought over the counter, okay? A lot of these don't even require a doctor, which brings me to my next point. They have ridiculous numbers of side effects, very common. And I want to go into those. I also want to Um, good morning. I want to mention that if you have regular allergy symptoms, often it lands in the sinuses and we end up on antibiotics, right? Now, whether it's really a bacterial infection or not, we don't know, right? And so we also start killing off good flora, and I'm going to come back to that as well. So we're treating this symptom with medications, but we're not looking at why, right? And these medications, these side effects, guys, this is incredible. Okay, I want to clarify here. I'm not talking about the rare side effects when I mention these. I'm talking about the ones that are common, that are expected, that if you typed in and said, what are the common, side effects of Zyrtec, this is what you'd find, okay? So these are the side effects, and oddly enough, they're exactly what you're trying to avoid. Fatigue, dizziness, sore throat, cough, nausea, and headache are pretty standard across all of them, okay? Now, isn't that why we're taking it? So why are we taking it? I mean, but you may not know this. I didn't know this simply because I hadn't looked at it in a very long time. Did you know that if you take Zyrtec, which let me remind you is the #1 used allergy medication, you are not supposed to drive a car? Did you know that? Yeah, because it causes sleepiness. It's actually on the label. It says if you take this, do not operate motor vehicles or drive a car. Zyrtec. Now, how many of you took Zyrtec this morning? Well, you probably didn't drive anywhere. We're all on isolation, right? How many of you took Zyrtec and would normally drive to work? Right? That's crazy. Okay. Claritin adds to that base list. Let's see, we added skin rashes were added to that one. I lost my place. Yeah, nosebleeds, skin rashes, and nervousness. Claritin adds to that base list. Now, those nasal corticosteroids I talked to you about, someone just said they're under the influence of Zyrtec right now. Oh boy, don't get in a car. The nasal corticosteroids like Flonase, these are also common, okay, expected, and these are weird, all right? Back pain, okay? Lack of interest in sex, menstrual problems, sinus pain, and white patches inside the nose and the mouth. Expected. If you went to your doctor and you said, gosh, you know what? I'm having a lack of interest in sex. They would say, yep, it's a side effect. Okay, not cool. I see you're joking, but that's funny. We got a jokester out there today. I love it. I love it. That's what I needed for my day. Benadryl does make you drowsy. Absolutely. That's another one. And most people are aware of that one, but Zyrtec, is kind of a surprise for most people. Now, let me throw another one at you. Sudafed. How many of you have taken Sudafed at some point in your life? These are the normal, everyday, expected side effect. Okay. I want to repeat that again because this is amazing. Nervousness, restlessness, insomnia, dizziness, hallucinations, tremors, seizures, loss of appetite, and itching. Okay, now normally seizures would be on the rare list. In some people it causes this or that. No. This is the normal. Not good. And you can walk right into Walgreens or CVS and buy Sudafed and take it. No one prescribes it. It's just available. So my point is risk versus benefit, right? Whenever I'm considering a situation and a treatment, whether I'm going to use a pharmaceutical, whether I'm going to use a natural therapy, whatever I'm going to recommend, the #1 thing I have to look at is what is the risk? What is the benefit, right? To me, it seems that the risk is far worse on many of these than the benefit. So the good news is there are actually a lot of alternative options that maybe no one has discussed with you. And that's what I want to discuss today. But before we do that, I want to talk to you a little bit about how the immune system responds to allergens so that you can kind of understand that. And I want to pose a question to you, okay? When two people walk outside, one person may start to get symptoms from a mesquite tree and the other person won't. So my question is the allergen the tree or is the problem the host, right? If two people walk out and have the exact same exposure and one person has 0 symptoms and the other person has 100% symptoms, the difference is the person. The difference is not the allergen. So we have to look at our body, our immune system. Why are some people responding in one way and some people responding in another. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward to me, which means we have to pay attention to the cause. We have to pay attention to why these particular bodies have more of a reaction to something than someone else, right? So when the immune system is triggered by something, it produces inflammation and mucus. That's how it protects you. Okay, and I do that. I'm allergic to dairy. And if for some reason I get any sort of dairy, my throat fills up with mucus. Okay, a lot of people get that if they're just dairy intolerant as well. So you may kind of recognize that symptom. What that is it's the body producing inflammation. Okay, and that's a protective mechanism, right? That's what our immune system is supposed to do. So histamine is released when you encounter an allergen. And once again, what it does in each person is completely different. Could be way severe, could cause anaphylaxis and closing of the throat, or could just cause a light cough, right? Depends on the host. But this is an alert to the body. This is what the body says, uh-oh, there's a problem, right? And so that's why some of these over-the-counter antihistamines can help, because they block that, uh-oh. Now, as a naturopathic perspective, from where I come from, you never want to block what the body's trying to tell you. You want to listen. You want to listen to what the body's trying to tell you, and you want to give it what it needs to overcome it. If you just block it, you're not listening. It's kind of like someone screaming for help and you just drive by. Oh, well, they'll be fine. It doesn't help, right? So you may recall from a couple days ago, I did a live on stress and the immune system. And I talked about how stress, when you're under chronic stress, you release histamine. Okay, it doesn't have to be an allergen. Stress releases histamine. Allergens release histamine. Viruses, bacteria, whatever your immune system comes into contact with, histamine's part of that natural response. So if you are allergic to something and you're under chronic stress, your symptoms could actually be far more severe than somebody else's. Also, and this is a very important point, you can have allergic symptoms simply from stress. May not even be allergic to anything. Okay, most common, mucus development, mild sore throat, a mild or dry cough, mild fatigue, feel kind of run down, a little foggy headed, dizzy, that type of thing, and a tight chest. Can't breathe, right? Can't get full air. Stress does that too, guys. If you're under stress, you're not breathing. Okay, so a lot of these symptoms are also related simply to stress and may have nothing to do with an allergy, which makes it very complicated. But this has been confirmed. Multiple studies have confirmed that people are more likely to experience common allergy symptoms during periods of high stress. And in 2014, there was a study, it was 179 people, and those who experienced allergy flares during the study period also had higher levels of perceived stress compared to the group that didn't have allergy symptoms. They had less stress. So there's definitely a link here. And that's not all. In 2009, they did a study on those that are experiencing persistent stress and anxiety. Okay, so chronic anxiety not only took longer to recover from these allergy symptoms, but their symptoms were also more severe. So knowing how many out there have anxiety, whether it's at a mild everyday level or a higher level, you're more likely to have allergy symptoms. Now, when I look at what's going on in our world right now and how everyone's on edge and they're anxious, I've had multiple people call me and say, oh my gosh, I'm having trouble breathing and I have a sore throat, thinking that they're sick. Perhaps they have corona, or perhaps they have another virus or the flu or whatnot. And simply a lot of it is anxiety related. So you have to keep that in mind. So look at the whole body when you develop a symptom. Don't just look at the symptom, folks. Okay. Very, very, very important to always look at the cause. Always. So here's the good news. There is a ton you can do that does not require these medications to not only help your allergy symptoms, but to lower your stress, lower your ability to catch other types of infections, keep your inflammation low, and your immune system on point. That is very important, okay? So we've talked a lot in all of my lives about the importance of a healthy diet. Yes, very important here, okay? Anti-inflammatory foods, foods that have high nutrient density, lots of minerals, lots of vitamins in them. Now, some of my favorite top anti-inflammatory foods, I love avocados. Vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, leafy greens, berries. There's even some research on vegan dark chocolate. Now, don't go overboard, We'll talk about chocolate on another live, I promise, and the benefits of that. But those foods are very helpful. Now, there are also a lot of other foods that are known to cause mucus development, okay? And like I talked about earlier, dairy does it to me for sure. Sometimes red chilies do it to me too. I don't know why, but if you eat a food and within a very short period of time, you're clearing your throat, you feel mucus in the back of your throat, that's because the body is reacting to it. Doesn't mean you're necessarily allergic to it, but it means it's causing some sort of inflammatory response. So if you're someone who tends to have a lot of allergies or a lot of other conditions, that food may not be the best one to include in your diet at that time. Now, some of the most common, I'm sure you can guess, and please don't throw tomatoes at me or rocks, dairy, soy, corn, eggs, sugar, wheat, and processed foods very commonly cause this reaction. So if you're someone who's prone to allergies, I would avoid those as much as humanly possible and incorporate more of the vegetables we talked about earlier. There are also a ton of spices that have an anti-inflammatory impact. I love these. I use them all the time. And you can put them all, roast those vegetables I talked about earlier and put them over the top. So you've got cinnamon, turmeric, ginger, garlic, and black pepper. In fact, in 2014, there was a study about cinnamon, and it really showed benefit. Now, I want to state that all cinnamons are not created equal. Okay, so there is another form of cinnamon, essentially called cassia. Cassia tastes exactly like cinnamon, and it's most commonly one that's the less expensive cinnamon at the grocery store. Often it's cassia. Now, cassia tastes heavenly. You won't notice a difference there, but the medicinal benefit is a little bit less. So you want to try to get cinnamomum. Great name, cinnamomum. If you can't find that at your grocery store, I do think they have it at Whole Foods. They have some more, they have different types of blends. You can also pick it up at a health food store or a vitamin store, and you can either open up the capsule and put it on the roasted vegetables, or you could just take the capsule as is. But do look at the source of cinnamon. I do talk about this on my website as well. So if you want to reference that, go ahead. There are so many allergic-based or allergy-based nutrients and herbs that will help you. Okay. So some of the most common, you may have heard stinging nettle, which is great. Quercetin, which is found in garlic and onions. So you can also incorporate that through your diet. Quercetin has some fantastic research on an antihistamine response. Bromelain, you may have heard of that in pineapple. It's also in other foods. Bromelain's fantastic. There's a lot of research on butter bar, particularly when it comes to headache-induced symptoms. N-acetylcysteine is an amino acid that's a precursor to glutathione. What's glutathione? Glutathione is our best antioxidant. It's what's out there and eating all those free radicals and keeping you healthy and boosting your immune system. N-acetylcysteine is a great component to that. My favorite, hands down, and the one that I recommend to pretty much everyone, is vitamin C. Why? Now, everyone knows that vitamin C has impact on the immune system. I think most of you know that. You've heard that. First of all, orange juice and oranges is not enough, especially if you're sick. It's great, incorporate it, but often you're going to need more. Okay, so there's also a lot of sugar in vitamin C. So some of you may not, or in oranges, so some of you may not be able to do that. But vitamin C not only benefits the immune system and allergies, it's also great for the adrenal glands. So when it comes to stress and trying to manage the underlying stress, vitamin C, I mean, it hits multiple points all at once. It's helpful in mood. It's helpful in stress management. It's helpful the immune system. It's helpful against cancer. I mean, it's unbelievable. Okay. So vitamin C. And in fact, there was a 2018 study that showed that oxidative stress was a primary player in the development of allergies, and that vitamin C was fantastic at combating that. Okay. It's very powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. So vitamin C should be in the mix no matter what. Lastly, on that particular section, we talked earlier about how a lot of people may end up on antibiotics, especially when you have a lot of allergies. So probiotics, got to put the good flora in, folks. Those bugs in there are good for you. They are very good for you. And you want a wide spectrum probiotic. I do have an article on my website, drpingel.com, that talks about probiotics, talks about what you should look for, how you should pick the right one, what's the difference between them. Please check it out. Probiotics are essential. You can also get a lot of those in foods. I had some tacos last night made with kimchi, so I put them in food-wise last night, but I will also take my capsule at bedtime tonight. Fixing the stress. So we just talked about looking at the cause. Now, it's not going to harm you to consider your adrenal glands here. It's not going to harm you to help your stress response. I mean, that makes sense. And you can do that in many different ways. We'll talk about the lifestyle ways in just a second. There are also a lot of herbs and nutrients that help adrenals, such as vitamin C, also rhodiola, ashwagandha, shishandra, ginseng. A lot of you with those more anxiety type symptoms with tightness in your chest, you may want to look at things like lavender. Lavender is awesome. You can take it actually in capsule form. You could also use it as essential oils with quite a bit of benefit in diffusers and under the nose. And, I put it behind my ears, like perfume, essentially. Those are a great way to use lavender. But there's also amino acids like L-theanine and phosphatidylserine that I do write about as well that do help calm the adrenal glands. And that may be something that's good for you people out there that have that tightness in your chest, but maybe have not been confirmed with allergies. Always a good, it's good for you anyway. We need to all chill out and repair our immune system at night when we sleep. So if you're taking these medications and you're not sleeping because you're wired, you're also not repairing and improving your immune system when you sleep. So that's very important. I had someone just ask if I would do segments with me actually preparing foods. Man, you're reading my mind. Yes, I will. I promise. It's coming. That's a little bit more complicated, trying to get a second person to record it. So I've got to work on some logistics of that. But last night I actually took video of my kids cooking with me when we made these kimchi tacos. So I may be posting that soon as well. But absolutely, and thanks for the suggestion. Lastly, some of the lifestyle stuff to manage stress. It's always good to breathe. Now, learning how to breathe is important. Right? I do write about this. There's a ton of articles on my website. I don't even know which one to point you to. I think I link it in so many times. Breathing is very important. Meditation, journaling, taking walks in nature, assuming you're not reacting too much to the tree around you, doing things you enjoy, building a skill, playing music. I took 45 minutes yesterday and played the piano just to chill out. This is a good time to work on your stress response because we're all kind of stuck at home. We've got to get creative on what we're going to do with our time. So this is a really good time to do that. Remember to take deep breaths. Always look at the cause. Allergies are not always as simple as a tree causing an allergy. Your body took that in and did something with it. We have to look at why. Okay? Now, thank you for being here. And if you found this informative and you're really liking my lives, please share them. I mean, I can't think of anything better to do right now than to learn. We're all at home, we're online, we're working from home, we're coming up with new routines. This is a great time to learn more about your health because the healthier you are, the stronger your immune system. The stronger your immune system, the less threat viruses and other things out there cause to your body. It's important to stay healthy. Our bodies are so smart, guys. Our bodies are so smart. They know what to do. So please like this, share this, comments. I'm going to go through all these comments over here and answer them all when we're done. I love your suggestions. I'm going to keep this up. I'll come up with some variety of topics, hopefully some cooking. I'll talk more about these herbs and more of these conditions that are really related to stress response. So focus on your stress, be well, all of you, and have a fabulous, fabulous day. Thank you again. Please share this. Let's get it going. Let's learn. Much love. Thank you.